Greetings from our Mirpeset in Yerushalayim. Parshat Pinchas is one of the occasions in the Torah where the entire Jewish calendar is described. All of the special holidays and of course Shabbat and Rosh Chodesh are described, and the special korbanot that are offered on those days. So it's one of those occasions in the Torah where the full Jewish calendar is described. And I think for most of us, the Jewish calendar provides a sort of a contour for the experience of going through the year as Jewish individuals, as Jewish families, certainly as a community. When you think of the cycle of holidays and the seasons, and we just had Shiva Asar B'Tammuz. We're in the 3 weeks. It's a time of mourning. It's a time of tension, and like we feel it every year. And then after Tisha B'Av, there's a release, and then we prepare for the holiday season in the fall, etc. I once heard a very insightful observer of the American Jewish community say that for a segment of the Jewish community, the Jewish life cycle has replaced the Jewish calendar. And I think we all know people like that. Maybe we have people like that in our families who are not observant, don't observe Shavuot, don't go to shul on Sukkot or Shmini Atzeret, but it's really important to them that they're Jewish, that their families are Jewish, and they seek out Jewish community. They seek out rabbis, even for the life cycle events that they undergo and that their family undergoes. But for most of us watching this video, I imagine that we have not replaced the Jewish calendar with the Jewish life cycle. We seek out Jewish experiences for our life cycle events, and also we go through the Jewish calendar. And in that context of the Jewish calendar and the cycle of holidays and the special days and the seasons and the way each one feels different from the next, it's worth remembering that in Parshat Pinchas, the calendar is introduced with all the special korbanot, all the musaf, additional korbanot for all the special days, is led off with the korban hatamid. The morning and afternoon tamid sacrifices that occurred every single day, even on the holidays, even on Shabbat. There's a tamid that's offered in the morning and the afternoon, and this is in that background, a foundation for everything that comes and adds upon it on the special days of the year. My teacher of Amital Zatzal, blessed memory, whose yahrzeit is just coming up this week, would point out that there's a obscure opinion in the Midrashic literature that says that the most important verse, the Klal Gadol B'Torah, is not V'ahavta l'reacha kamocha, as Rabbi Kiva says, love your fellow as yourself. And it's not Zeh Sefer Tolot Adam, this book. The Torah is the book of the generations of humanity, male and female, each created in the image of God, as Ben Azai teaches. No, the most fundamental Klal Gadol B'Torah is in Parshat Pinchas, the Korban HaTamid, the daily commitment, every morning to serve God, every afternoon to serve God, that we are oriented around our responsibilities to mitzvot and service in a perpetual way, in a regular way, without change, with consistency and continuity, reliability. That is the Klal Gadol B'Torah, because everything else that we might want to do as Jews, that we might want to accomplish as a community, as a people, is only possible if it's built on that foundation of consistency. And thinking about the calendar and the cycle of the year, and here in Yerushalayim, I can see the Knesset over there and the Israel Museum behind me. You have the Jewish present and the Jewish past represented maybe by those buildings. I think the National Library is also over there. And in these turbulent times, certainly in Israel, where I can feel it, and certainly in America, where I don't have to tell you, these are turbulent times, there's a possibility of being focused on this moment in history and where we are in relation to the past. And it's of course 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. That's an anniversary that pushes us to focus on our relationship to the past and where we might be in this sweep of history between our origins and our destination. And I think Parshat Pinchas can be a reminder, maybe Shabbat of July 4th can be a reminder to separate a little bit from that, the tumult of and the historic sweep that we may find ourselves in, and to instead, what is the Keves Achat Esed Boker, Keves Sheni Ben Harbayim, and the Jewish people. And to ask this question as Americans, just like so much historical drama, and actually, maybe what we need to do is like, what are the daily commitments to one another? What are the daily commitments to God? The daily commitments to our observance of mitzvot that are so necessary for anything that we might positively build on top of that. And I think that those small daily commitments also can be eroded or ignored or forgotten when we instead latch on to the big sweep of history. So there are Jews who've replaced the Jewish calendar with the Jewish life cycle. Maybe there are Jews who only swing by shul on special occasions in the calendar, holidays, but actually, even when you're not in shul, first of all, you can be in shul every day, come to shul every day, but also, even if you don't come to shul, of course, we have Jewish obligations and responsibilities wherever we are, and every day of the year, and every moment, and that's ultimately more important and more significant than the dramatic moments of the holidays. And in terms of our commitments, again, where the Jewish people finds itself in history, where America finds itself in history, it's I think the small daily commitments to one another and to our values that I think really need to be reinforced at this moment of historical turmoil. And I think only good can come from reinforcing those small daily commitments. Thank you to everyone who is keeping the shul strong and vibrant while I'm away. I'm eager to hear about it. Sorry I'm away from you this week, but I am, of course, also looking forward to a Shabbat here in Yerushalayim. So Shabbat Shalom, and eager to reconnect when I'm back in DC.